So are you a relatively new rider, but now it's time to get out on the roads and share them with cars? That can be a little daunting. It opens up a whole new world of hazards, obviously. And what's the car's biggest gripe, really, with cyclists? Well, they're slow-moving obstacles. Now, we're drivers. We know all about slow-moving obstacles. I mean, we've all been stuck behind that truck. We've all been stuck behind that little old lady. We've been stuck behind the inattentive drivers. It's a hassle, for sure. But now we're the cyclists. Now we're the slow-moving obstacle. So now we have a whole new world to deal with. So here are 7 tips that will hopefully make your road sharing time a little safer. Okay, here's tip number 1. Your safety equipment. Now, first things first is your helmet. I'm in the wear your helmet school. I know a lot of people aren't in that school, but I am in that school. And these are my tips, so helmet. The next thing you want on the front of your bike is a white light. On the back of your bike, you want a red light. This is so cars can see you coming and going. Another thing that's handy is inside your saddlebag, have some spare tubes and maybe an extra tire pump that will help you inflate them if need be. Now, if you really want to get fancy or start getting a little more high-tech, Garmin offers a couple of updated options to your rear light, and I have one of them right here. This is the Varia, the Garmin Varia, and what the Garmin Varia does is it acts like a radar detector. It sends out a signal and it picks up cars behind you and sends that information up to your bike computer right along this strip right here. It's kind of cool because it tells you how many cars are behind you and how fast they're going. Another good thing to have for safety wise on your bike is your phone. If you're stuck in a pinch, you call your Sherpa to come pick you up. It's pretty handy to have. Another piece of safety equipment I have on my bike is this rear view mirror. I mount it on my handlebar. Some people have rear view mirrors mounted on their glasses or on their helmet, and I've tried that, but I just can't make it work for me. It just doesn't compute. So I just look down at my rear view mirror if I have to. So when I'm on the road, my basic philosophy is this: it's a car's world. We just live in it. Despite the fact that we are technically and allowed to use the lane just like the cars, it's just not how it works. The cars don't want you out here. They are annoyed by you, and you have to deal with them. So when you're out here, you kind of have to make assumption that the cars don't ever see you. They're distracted. They're speeding. They have other things on their mind, and they're in an enclosed space. And compared to you, pretty safe. Now when you're riding down the road, technically they're supposed to give you 3 feet of passing, and you're supposed to be as far right as possible. But a lot of times the cars, they just don't have a good judge of distance, so you have to worry about that too. Sometimes the cars are out here and the drivers are just malicious, and they're going to mess with you, they're going to buzz you, they're going to try and run you off the road. They're going to yell at you, all that sort of stuff. It's really kind of a hassle, but just remember, it's their road. It's not yours. I know technically it is my road, but if I have to yield to a 2-ton car, I'm going to. The next tip is about positioning. Like I said, you technically get about 3 feet from the curb to out to here to ride. And a lot of people ride 2x2s, which is okay. I prefer to ride in a straight line. It allows me and my group to get over as far right as possible. And when we're riding together, I like it when our group stays pretty close to each other. So if there's 5 of us in our group, a car doesn't have to pass 5 people one by one. They can pass our whole group really quickly, so all 5 of us are, out of harm's way almost at the exact same time. Now, you you should get over to the right as much as you can, as far as safely as you can. But a lot of times you just don't have a choice. Like on this road right here, there really is no curb. There's no place for me to go. So I'm out here as far to the right as I can. I'm not going to wander into the middle of the lane. And heck, even on this road, sometimes you have other things to dodge other than cars. On your left. So that person gave me a nice wide berth. It's like the perfect pass. The next tip is about non-car hazards. Things you might have to dodge on the road. Like for instance, here's a hole, a drain cover. These lines right here on the side, when it gets wet, they get really slick. So you don't want to ride on top of those if it's raining outside. Here's an example of the right-hand side. It's basically a gutter. There aren't even any street markings. So I'm kind of like forced into the center of the lane. It usually doesn't happen, but you know, you never know what might come up in the road. There's a pothole. Here comes another pothole right here right there. Yeesh. Okay, here comes a dicey non-auto hazard, and that's a train crossing. Train crossings are usually pretty easy. When you cross them, you want to make sure you're crossing like this, or maybe like this. But you never want to get in a situation trying to cross like this, because if your tire gets caught in this rut, it's lights out, man. That's bad news. What the heck? This was not on my road hazards checklist. Giant metal plates. For me, this is the courtesy tip. It's always good to make eye contact with other drivers. They don't always see you. They don't always necessarily keep their eye on you. So what I like to do is I like to make eye contact with someone at an intersection and then wave. A wave is always a good idea. If you wave and they wave, then you know that each other has seen each other. And that's a good thing. If they don't wave back at me, or I don't see them make eye contact with me, then I assume they don't see me, and I don't go through the intersection until they're gone. Again, it's just you versus a car. I mean, who's gonna win that fight? Them every time, right? Next is hand signals. If you're a kid in the 70s and 80s and maybe the 60s, you're probably taught road signals. Like, if your hand is straight out, that means you're turning left. If your hand is makes the lower portion of a square, see my shadow? That means you're turning right. And if it's pointed down, let's get back to the shadow. Pointed down like this, it means you're slowing. And that was fine for cars because you can't reach out the passenger side. But on a bike, it's a little more self-explanatory. Like, you don't have to do this if you're gonna go right. You just point, I'm going right. So, slowing, left, right. Shadow training, how about that? Okay, here's the what if tips. What if a car buzzes you? What do? You do not engage. You let that guy move on. He's out of your life now. If someone is crazy enough to buzz you or come close to cutting you off, then God knows what they're crazy enough to do if they stop and you get into a confrontation. What if someone rides past you and yells at you? Do not engage. It might bruise your ego a little bit. It might suck to hear those words, but just don't egg them on. Don't encourage them. And the last what if someone throws something at you or otherwise assaults you in some way and then speeds off? Do not engage. Call the cops. Get their license plate if you can and call the police. I mean, you're just yourself on this little bike. There, a couple of people in a truck or a car or who knows what. You can't compete with them. So don't engage. Don't even start anything. It's just the safest thing to do. Okay, this is the section where I say, give yourself a fighting chance. Wear light colored clothes like a bright orange helmet, a light shirt. Some people wear yellow jackets. That's cool. Don't wear dark clothes if it's at night. In fact, don't ride at night. If you must ride at night, don't wear dark clothes. Never ride against traffic. People who could walk and run against traffic, but do not ride your bike against traffic. Cars are not looking for you at all. And also, in general, never ride on the sidewalks either. Although on this road right here, it is insanely busy, especially this time of day. You get a lot of people who are in a hurry. On this particular road, it leads to a soccer fields and soccer parks. So you've got a lot of soccer moms zipping along here trying to get their kids to practice. And that can definitely lead to some unsafe conditions. So on this particular situation, my street is the next one up the road. I will ride on the sidewalk if it's a little dicey outside. But if it's too busy, I'll take the sidewalk just because I have a better chance against a car backing up than I do against a car going 50 miles an hour up my ass. So anyway, that's that. So that's about all I can think of for now. Cycling on the road kind of opens up a whole new space for you. I mean, hills, longer rides, smoother roads. But as a famous YouTuber once said, safety is the #1 priority. So keep that in mind when you're out on the road. Good luck, have a great time, and thanks for watching.